My name is Sarah Bateman, and this is my Module 3 discussion. There are many reasons that collection policies are impactful and necessary in libraries, but in my opinion, three of the most important reasons to have a collection policy in a library are to protect intellectual freedom, ensure a degree of consistency, provide guidance in the acquisition, processing, and cataloging of materials. In the article Self-Censorship and the Academic Mission, the author focused on the impact of self-censorship, in particular in academia, but what he said really applies to self-censorship and the issue with it everywhere. The author wrote, "We self-censor when, out of concern for our status or career or whatever, we refrain from writing or saying something we suspect might otherwise aid us in our academic quests." This self-censorship applies also to reading and selecting books within the library. If a reader is concerned with what others may think about the book they are reading, it might cause them not to choose a book based on that self-censorship. The author, Mercer, also wrote, "Speaking our minds will become less risky when those in our community come to value academic engagement and value it for its own sake, rather than as primarily a means to a further end." This also applies in libraries because one of the main reasons to read is to continue learning and to learn about other cultures, ways of life, a myriad of reasons. So when we get past the idea of worrying about what others may think of what we are reading, we can avoid that self censorship. And that's why it's important to be aware of our own bias to stop ourselves when we are concerned about what others might think about selected titles that we have. In the article Children's Collection Development, Good Books or Books Kids Like, the author discusses whether to choose a book that is quote unquote quality or choosing a book that kids like. He defines a quality book as including, but not limited to, evocative narration, well developed themes, effective plot, plausible characterization, effective read aloud qualities, just to name a few. The author goes to say that the best books to choose are ones that have quality and appeal. But if it's not always possible, which it isn't, it's good to have one that have good to have ones that have one or the other, because in the end we just want to get books in kids' hands and get them reading and cultivate that love of reading. And finally, here are my references for the three articles mentioned and used for sources throughout this presentation.